Hi guys, so there's this new show on ABC Family called The 9 Lives of Chloe King, and I wasn't planning on watching it. I was watching Pretty Little Liars like I always do, and it was the season premiere last night, so I was very excited. But then, because what they do, obviously, with these new shows is they put them in after a series premiere of a popular show so that people watch it. And it worked because I watched it. I was like, you know what? What the hell? What do I have to lose? Except for my sanity, which I did lose. I was tweeting about it at my Twitter, ItsJillStrif, if you want to follow it. I was tweeting about Pretty Little Liars and Ian Harding shirtless with Mr. Fizz, for those who don't know. And then I tweeted about Chloe King. And you could follow me on Tumblr, jillstrif.tumblr.com, and you can like me on Facebook. Links will be below. It starts out where she's running through like the woods, and then she gets thrown, she goes up the stairs in this tall building, and she gets thrown off the building, and she lands, and she's dead. But then she walks away. She's 16, she went to this 21 and older club, met this random guy. Her friends left her at the club, which is like, hello, this is like a missing person situation just waiting to happen. Like, I don't understand why this is like entertainment. This is like everything you shouldn't do. So her asshole friends left her at the club with this guy, and they had this, like, I swear, 20-minute long dancing scene, and I was like, this is making me want to change the channel. I don't care. It was really awkward. She leaves the club alone. She talks to the guy, and then she goes back and she kisses him, and she's like, screw it, I'm 16, I can kiss any guy at a club, and my friends aren't there, and I'm alone, and nobody knows where I am. So she did. So then, it's her birthday, so her mom she's an hour late, and her mom has a cake for her, and she's an hour late because she was at, she was at dinner. I don't know where I am right now, but it ends up like that. Maybe the next day she was at dinner, and she is with her friend eating dinner. Actually, this is the next day. It's all so confusing. It's the next day, it's her birthday, she's eating dinner with her friend, and she is an hour late to go to her house, and her mom has a cake for her, and her mom's sitting there like, when's Chloe gonna come home? And so then, I guess Chloe doesn't have any regard for anybody else and doesn't show up for those things. But anyway, so on her way home, there's this, like, homeless guy, and he's like, it's just, like, it's pretty much the scene in Spider-Man with Jane. And all this time I'm thinking, she's like Peter Parker and Edward Cullen, because earlier that day I think she, like, threw a basketball and it landed so far away and right in the garbage, and she was like, oh, let's run away, because everybody was like, that was cool. And if that were me, I'd be like, holy shit, I just did that, yes, applaud me. But she, like, snuck out the back door. I was like, that's stupid. Oh, and I think this happened before the birthday thing, too. But this random guy, I think he's British, I'm not sure. I think the accent left and came back a few times during the show. I don't know. It's either a British actor who tried to do an American accent and failed miserably, or it's an American actor who's doing a British accent and failed miserably. Either way, he, like, came up to her in the hallway, and he's, like, all up in her face, and it was just so weird, and I'm thinking, why is he British? What is happening? Why is he British? And then this girl's like, and I'm like, okay, it's gotta be his girlfriend, but then you find out it's his cousin. Like, the whole thing was so, like, what is happening? All she has to do is save Bella from a van, and she's pretty much Edward Cullen. And she was Spider-Man, because then she finds out, after she, like, claws the homeless guy, that she, is like, superpowers and, Peter Parker stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so she's jumping across buildings, and it's basically Spider-Man. Oh, and then she's working at a store. After the club guy, after the British or not British guy in school, after all those people, she goes to work at the store, and there's this guy that comes in, and she's like, oh, what do you want to buy? And I'm like, what guy are we on? What number guy are we on? You're 16. What's happening here? It's been 15 minutes of the show, and there's already been 12 guys. Then, stuff happens. They're talking. I don't remember. But she starts talking to her mom, and she's like, oh, it's her birthday. And she's like, oh, Mom, I want to know about my birth parents or whatever. Because I guess she can do weird stuff. So she's thinking, it has to be something I inherited from my parents. That's what I would think. Actually, I'd Google it, or I'd ask Cha-Cha, like, what, I can do all this stuff, why can I do that? The mom says to her, she goes, oh, what about Dad? And the mom says to her, I think money changed hands. And then she replies, Dad stole me? So wait, wouldn't it be stealing if they didn't change hands? Like, money changed hands, which means you gave money for something, which means you didn't steal anything. I don't understand why. And then the club guy from the beginning, you find him stone cold on the ground, and he's, white as a vampire, which led me to believe that maybe this is another vampire thing. And he's dead. And he's dead because she kissed him outside of the club. So, does that make her a bad kisser? So then the show starts from the beginning, where she's running through the woods, and I'm like, okay, my mind is blown. I didn't know this was going to happen. Oh, the show's starting all over, and now we're going back in time, but to the future and in the present. And she's falling from the building again. There's this black guy with scars on his face, and he's probably the best part of the show, because he just, every once in a while during the show, you'll see him and he'll be like, and you're like, what is he doing? Like, what? So he throws her off the building, he runs down the stairs, and then everybody's like, oh, girl just fell off the building, oh, and they're all looking at her, and the guy comes out, and he's like, and then he leaves, and everybody's looking at him, so I'm like, you just made yourself so obvious that you did it. Like, why? Everybody knows you just did it now. So if this were real life and people were to report this, which I'm sure they didn't, and they just kept going on doing what they were doing and going to the store, they would know who it was. And he's pretty identifiable because of the scars. Anyway, okay, it turns out that she's a cat or whatever, something. I don't know. But then the other two people, the not British guy and his cousin girlfriend, turn out, they find her in the woods, and they're like, wait, we're one of you, where's cats too? And so then they go see the guy from the club, and somebody wrote to me on Twitter, he never told her where he lived, so she just magically knew where to go to his house. And they find him dead, and she's like, oh no, and they're like, you can never be intimate with another cat. and then she's like, oh, but I killed him. And they're like, you can't do that. And then he's like, that's why in school she got mad at you because he was going to kiss you. And she's like, what? Like, I don't understand. And if someone, okay, this is on a side note, and I was just wondering this, and I wrote it on Twitter. If someone hates cats in this show, does it make them a racist? Answer in the comments. And they start explaining to her, all this stuff, and it's just weird. And then they're like, the order. And they're talking about the order, and I'm like, is this Lonely Girl 15? Didn't they talk about the order in Lonely Girl 15? So she goes to her friend, and her friend's like, oh, he broke up with me, whatever, this guy, her friend, this Asian guy. And she's like, he broke up with me, and then she goes, oh, I think I died today. And then her friend goes, are you okay? What? That was the best line in the whole thing. Are you okay? I just died. Are you okay? I don't understand. So they go and the Asian kid turns out to be kidnapped by the black guy with the scars, the obvious guy. And so they go to save him, and he calls her, and it's like a scene in Twilight where Bella has to go, and it's Bella's mom, and she's like, ooh, Bella, whatever happens, I don't remember, from the old video. So she goes, and then what's his name? I forgot his name. What's his name? I don't remember, but then Bella goes, and it's the home videos. Anyway, wow, I'm really going on a tangent here. So she's talking to the guy, and she's going to save the kid, and she's like, newsflash, dying sucks, and I'm so not doing that again. And I'm like, this show is not even real. Basically, that is my recap of the pilot for 9 Lives of Chloe King. I don't understand what even happened, but a lot happened, and it was certainly, I don't even know. It's so out there, so much happened. It's like they stole a bunch of ideas from a bunch of different things and put it together and made it one show. I don't know, it was weird. Let me know if you watched it, and what you thought of it, and I can't take any more of this. Bye.